Hey, you know what? Instead of making up the traffic, why don't I actually look at it this time?
I will say I saw that the one lane that everybody's talking about. Oh, it's terrible. I didn't think because I had to go pick up one of my friends at Midway this past Friday night at like 1 in the morning. So I thought, oh, there's not gonna be any traffic because of that one lane. There was traffic.
Where on the highway?
Yeah, going to Chicago.
Really? I've heard people talking about it. I haven't seen it yet. Where is it?
So
I know you don't know.
yeah, I was gonna say I know how to get there, but right as you get onto the exit that says like Chicago Loop and all that, that's where it's gonna be.
And it's down to one lane?
Yeah, for a little bit, and then it goes back to regular. But that
I gotta say another one. Now, have you tried to go north on Indianapolis Boulevard lately to East Chicago?
Oh yeah, I go around. I go once I get to Indianapolis over these train tracks. I'll go down to the left until I get to Columbia, or I'll go down Kennedy Avenue because the bridge is still open, at least going to East Chicago, but you can't come back from East Chicago. You can't go from East Chicago to Hammond on Kennedy, but you can go to East Chicago on Kennedy.
So, yeah, I don't quite understand why, but Indianapolis Boulevard is down to one lane on over what they used to call the 9-span bridge, and you got to wait 10 minutes for it to clear out.
Yeah, you're better going around it.
And then you would go over to Kennedy. Now you're saying you can go into EC
on Kennedy Avenue, yes.
Yeah, I imagine they'll change that at some point and make it
Hopefully.
the other way. But for a while that was closed, so all you could do was go to Columbia, and then Columbia is really crowded right now and has its own construction and traffic.
It's cleared up a little bit. This summer, I think it was from like June until now, they had the roads closed off. It was one lane each way as well.
And on Columbia, right?
Yes, but it's cleared up a little bit. There's still slightly some construction, but not as much as there used to be.
You guys realize what is happening. Adrianna is actually paying attention to the roadways and to things that are happening. And that's good news, Adrianna.
Does this mean that I am successfully becoming an adult and I have to pay attention to the roadways and the politics and the traffic?
Same things happened with you and Matt Kaufman and Joe Cimino. And I don't know about Lynette Lopez. By the way, she starts. Don't forget to get her on payroll.
We already did that.
You did. All right, good enough. And then what happens is people come in like you, and you don't really know the roads, and you don't really pay attention to it. And then all of a sudden, after about 6 months, you start paying attention. Joe Cimino asked me about, what are they doing to the Borman again? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, gosh, it shows that you actually care about traffic, because in past generations, you had to know the roads and you had to have a paper map and you had to get it. Now you just put it in your phone. My son-in-law moved from Brooklyn to Munster, and he didn't have a driver's license. And then he finally got a driver's license.
Oh, okay. I was very concerned for a second, but then when you said Brooklyn, I was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, he just took trains and cabs and stuff.
Yeah, public transport.
Yeah. And so I would ask him now, I'm like, well, where was that, or what roads did you take there? He goes, I don't know. Just put it in Waze. I have no idea any of the name of any of these roads. He goes, I know where Indianapolis Boulevard is. That's it.
That sounds like one of my friends. She got her driver's license around, I believe, 18 years old, so it was her senior year, and I would drive everywhere. So she didn't really pay attention to where we were going. She just knew that I knew how to get places. Like around here, I don't really need a GPS, but once you get out of the area you're used to, then you're going to need a GPS. But I think we went to Target in Highland, and she lives in Hammond. She put Target in Highland into GPS, and I was like, you don't know where the Target in Highland is? She's like, no, I don't. Like everybody else driven like drove for her.
It's
and I
not
was
that
like,
hard to find.
I
It's
know,
on the
but
boulevard, right?
I find it so funny. But she's gotten used to now driving because everybody else would drive her everywhere, so she really wouldn't pay attention. So then now, as she's driving and she's getting more confident, knowing where everything's at, I was like, okay, now what street are you on? She's like, don't ask me what street I'm on. And I'm like, it goes, it goes Calumet, Columbia, Indianapolis, Kennedy, like. That's
pretty good.
That's how it goes down. And
That's
she's
good
like,
that you know that.
She's like, I know Indianapolis. That's the one everybody knows.
Yeah, that's
but
all he knows.
The
He
other
goes-
ones people don't know.
I
And
go,
was
do you?
like, okay.
He drives to downtown Hammond,
Yes.
and I'm like, do you take Holman or do you take Columbia or what? He's like, I don't know. I just put it in the thing and I just go. Jen, who comes in here, Jen Forite, my sister,
Yeah.
who in 21 years has never gone to lunch with me, and I've asked her.
Take her to
about-
breakfast today.
She's like, I'm not going to lunch with you. I'm like, I wasn't a very nice older brother, I think. But anyways, she has a daughter, Annie Forite, who went to Munster and then went to Notre Dame. She started medical school, I think, just like a week ago.
Oh,
And,
congratulations to her.
She very well could be a brain surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
She's that smart, and she probably will get what she wants, and that is to be a brain surgeon. She likes that stuff. But I would say about 5 years ago, she was a senior in high school, and we're having a little get-together like we do, and she goes, Uncle Jim, can you take me to my friend's house? I was leaving, and I go, yeah, I'll take you. So we get in the car, and I go, well, how do you get there? And she goes, well, hang a right here. And then we go all the way here, and then she goes, hang a left here on Columbia. And then we get to the light in front of Munster High School, right? And then she goes, all right, hang a left here. And then we go around 35th, and then she goes, go here and go there. And I realized that it was 2 blocks away from her house. And I'm like, well, we could have just like gone straight there up, Northcott or something. And she's like, well, I only know how to get there from the high school.
Yeah.
So I had to go all the way back to the high school and then all the way to the house that basically I could hit a 3-wood to if I hit it good. And that she had no idea of the directions. I don't even know I'm like, well, what direction are we headed right now? She's like, I don't know. That's common, right?
Yes. So there's a funny story that I have about that. So like my generation, we don't really know our north, east, south, and west. We know what it is, but if you were to ask me right now what direction I'm looking in, I could not tell you. So going to Bishop Knoll, they have these retreats that we go on, and there's one of them that's a 4-day retreat called Kairos. And that retreat, they take away your phones, your tablets, everything, and there's no clocks in the building that you're in because they have the concept that you are on God's time. So you do not get to know what time it is at all. So while we were all there, like you're able to go outside because they have a bunch of activities during downtime that we have. And one of the guys that was on the retreat with us was like, oh, I know what time it is. They're like, we're all like, how do you know what time it is? Like you found a clock, or like what? Because the first day you're over here like getting like jitters because you don't know what time it is because we're so used to being on a strict schedule. So he's like, yeah. And he's like, well, we're facing east right now. And I look up at the sun and I can tell the time by where the sun's at. And we're like, okay, Boy Scout, like you already got us. We knew what time it was. So every time that we had downtime, we're like, go outside, tell us what time it is because he knew his directions.
You know what? That's not rocket science. As a matter of fact, you can just
we
put a
all
stick.
thought it was. Yeah, that's
Put
what
a
we did.
stick in the ground and then look where the shadow points, and you can figure it out from there.
That's the thing. Nobody knew how to do that except for one person.
I'm a little worried that you're probably going to get plucked away from us and go to work at some big job in Chicago, and you can't tell around what time it is by the sun.
Well, I mean, like if it's
No,
close,
literally.
yeah.
If you took a nap and woke up and you wouldn't know if it was 10 minutes or 2 hours by the sun, right?
No, I would not. I really couldn't.
That's kind of, well, I mean, that's as bad as one day somebody that's listening is going to walk into a room and the brain surgeon's going to be my niece, and she's not going to know how to drive 2 blocks away unless she goes back to the high school, and that hasn't changed. I think that's a casualty that needs to be addressed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that you're on God's time. And see, you would have never thought of, how do I tell the time?
Yeah, if we were never put in a situation where you did.
Do they ask you what direction you're going?
What do you mean?
Like
when I'm.
can you tell where you're at? Can you tell what direction you're headed by where the sun is?
Where the sun is?
Wait a second. The sun's right here. The sun's right
I'm
here.
I can't,
hold on a second. You see the sun right over my shoulder?
Uh-huh.
What direction is that?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay, good enough. Let's take some photos. Let me do the traffic.
Oh,
294 around the city is bad right around about halfway up and right as you get to O'Hare, so allow extra time. 80 east and west gets bad in Joliet, but you don't care. The Bishop Ford is bad from the top of the steel bridge all the way downtown, and I don't see an accident, so something's happening that everyone wants to go to Chicago all at once. And if you're a normal commuter, you will be harangued and you will be just pissed. I think I can say that. But it's a long ride up the Bishop Ford and the Dan Ryan. Skyway Toll Road, Borman, Klein Avenue Bridge, they're all moving along pretty well. Adrianna Alvarez with the weather.
Currently, right now, at the Strike and Van Til Studios, it is 59 degrees. Today, we're seeing highs of 73 and lows of 52 degrees with some partial sunshine and clear skies for the nighttime. Wednesday, highs of 76, lows of 61, sun in areas and high clouds and nice temperatures. But then on Thursday, we're seeing highs of 74 degrees, lows of 56 degrees, intervals of clouds and sunshine, a couple of thunder showers around the early afternoon.
219-845-1100. Let's take some phone calls. I do got plenty of things I want to get to, but I'd much rather hear from you. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, Jimmy, don't forget, Magellan didn't know east or west or north or south either at the beginning.
Are you kidding on that? Or are you making it up like you do with most things?
No, that's true. In the beginning, he wasn't sure. He had to figure it out. But, hey, the interview with the girls was great on that bike thing. I was trying to text you. I was going to say, hey, the lady on the left in the blue, if she's looking for breakfast at maybe 8:30, I was going to tell you to slip her my number.
You know, you're just you, and you can't escape that. But you did say something that was true. Ferdinand Magellan didn't know east and west. That is correct. Magellan and other European navigators of his time knew which direction was east and west. Their challenge was not the directions themselves, but the exact geography and scale of the globe. In other words, they thought the world was flat, so that kind of changed their direction.
That's sort of like Bradley Gimbel, thinking the world's flat, the moon's fake, and he thinks Trump didn't get shot in the ear.
All right. Hey, thanks for clearing up that rather sordid thing. All right, let's take the next one. Hey, you're on the air. You're following Mad Mac. What does that make you? A Mad Mac follower?
Oh, yeah, really, yeah. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of luck picking up women on your radio station. So. God bless anyone who would go out with him. Jesus. But,
hey, can you turn this caller up? He seems to be whispering. But anyways, go ahead. What's on your mind?
I remember a certain radio host making that bear run bike trip a few years back with me, and it didn't turn out all that well at the end of the evening. I think we probably were a little aggressive in our tasting the various beer options at the various places. So.
You know what? I remember that now. Now, you know, the best place in America to do that is Madison, Wisconsin. They have all these bars on basically a strip on a abandoned railroad tracks. They made it into a bike path, and then you can stop at the various kind of dive bars all the way around the region. I wonder why more people don't say, hey, let's go have a beer, get on their bikes, and then ride there on their bikes. I mean, that doesn't really happen, and I think it should.
Yeah, there are a few riding groups that they ride from Trek out there in Cherville all the way up to 18th Street. You can do that almost all the way on bike path, so they go hit 18th Street, I think, once a month. So there's a few groups that make rides like that around the region, but I don't think they're well known or well promoted. So this sounds like a fun event, and I think it'll be fun.
Like a fun event.
Yeah.
Are you going to go?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. You know that by 313 over there next to the South Shore line, they do have a path that ties, I forget the names of the two trails. They tie the one there that starts in Munster into the one there that runs along the little cow. And so it's almost all bike trails, I think, you can ride on what they were showing on that map, except maybe if you're trying to go from Munster to Griffith, I think you got to go down Franlin and then maybe Hart through Highland to pick up the bike path again over there in Highland. So,
Well,
yeah, it's going to be a fun event.
Yeah, I mean, obviously 313 is going to have to be open at 11. But if you go north on the bike trail, and I think they finished that bridge finally, then you could go east, and Adrianna doesn't know where this is. No, you would be going east. Let's see, you would be going east, and you would go to Highland along the Little Cal, and then you would pick, I think that's the Erie Lackawanna up at Wicker Park, and then you would go right into downtown Highland, and you could stop at Sip and Fuzzy Line, and then you take
and Byway. You can catch Byway over there too.
Yeah,
on that
you could
trail.
stop at Byway.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're part of this. I didn't mention that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
they
think
are?
Byway was on that map. Yeah.
Okay, so you could go to Munster, Hammond, Highland, Griffith, and it's all kind of sanctioned. You know, driving your bike drunk is not sanctioned.
No,
I was thinking about this. I went to Michigan on Saturday, and we just spent the day up there, Alexis and I, and I brought my bike because I knew they had one of the best bike trails anywhere is coming out of South Haven, Michigan. And so I get on it, and then I realize that there's a lot of people riding electric bikes on this basically cross Michigan trail. And I asked a couple guys, I said, hey man, you want to go with me? And they had places there, and they're like, oh yeah, I got my electric bike. I go, I'm not riding you on an electric bike. That's basically a small motorcycle.
That's right.
It is. And I'm like,
yeah.
So if you're on the bike trail and you've had a couple beers and you're riding an electric bike, that's drunk driving, right?
Well, it's pretty dangerous. I'm not sure technically what it's called. And I know electric bikes originally weren't even allowed on the bike trails, but then I think the state legislature made a law exempting them from not being able to be on those bike trails.
Yeah, I mean, that
but
changes.
When you're on the local trails and you see, a couple of 12-year-old kids zooming by on one of those electric bikes playing chicken or something like that, at our age it makes you a little bit nervous for them and for ourselves. But
in Michigan,
they're all over the place here. Even in our local trails, they're all over the place.
In Michigan, a guy named Darren, as a matter of fact, you may know him, Darren Bohm, who went to Morton. He's quite a bit younger than you are. But he is the one who has the place, and I had to go up and hang out with Morton people over the weekend, which is questionable in and of itself. But Bohm's like, hey, watch out for the electric bikes. I go, really? He goes, and I hate to make a generalization, but it's usually kind of older women on the electric bikes, like really old. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And there had to be, I had to see about a half dozen women in their 70s or even 80s riding these electric bikes rather quickly. And that could be a little bit surprising also, especially since it was a cinder bike path and it had rained. It was kind of slick. Oh, wow. And I was like, man, this is not, it's kind of dangerous. Hey, by the way, I got to tell you, guess what I did on Friday? You'll never guess this, so I'll tell you. I went with Dave Dabberton, and I swam from the Hammond Marina over to the Hammond Sanitary, or the Hammond Water thing and back.
Yeah, how'd you hold up with that?
I've been swimming at the Y here. They're closed today, so I won't. I mean, the pool is closed today.
All of them are.
Yeah. So they open tomorrow. But it was unbelievable. The only problem was, I'm halfway through the swim, and then I realized that the day before I had McDermott on, and he had told us about all of the poop in Hammond going into Lake Michigan, and I forgot about that, and I'm like, spitting out this water, and I'm like, gosh, I hope nothing happens.
Yeah.
But anyways, It is the most underused area. There was a couple other swimmers there, but Dabberton and you swim along the coast or the lake shore, and it's a long swim, and then you swim back. It's pretty safe. He had a flotation device on and the whole thing, but I just want to bring that up to people that that's a possibility, but you definitely got to have that safety flotation device on. I didn't have it. I won't do that again. But anyways.
Yeah, my wife and 2 kids can both swim all day long. Me, after about 50 yards, I'm like, oh, Jesus, I'm going to drown here if I don't get to shallow water soon. So I'll need double flotation devices. So.
Hey, high school football, we had 8 games on. You know how high school baseball has kind of risen here in the region? So has high school softball. I think the same is going to happen here with football. There's some really good teams this year. Maryville, Crown Point. If you look for the JED TV Sports Network top 10, I think it's Maryville, Crown Point, Hobart, Michigan City's up there. I don't know who was number 4. I forget right now. Andrean's right up there. They're good teams, man.
Quickly on baseball and softball, like, so what was 7 or 8 teams right there downstate in the championship and 4 winners, I think.
I think all 8 games had a region team.
Yeah, it was an incredible spring it was historic. I'm sure it's never happened up here again. I'm not sure it's happening in any other part of the state other than maybe Indianapolis. So it was incredible. Softball and baseball.
What's going to happen now, I don't think people realize it, is that kids can now transfer at any time, anywhere they want to go, as long as they can get into the other school in one way or another. And that's going to change everything. And it hasn't hit yet. There hasn't been big notable transfers or somebody got in an argument with a coach and the next day they're at a different school. That is going to happen around here. And it is also in the back of coaches, athletic directors, superintendents' minds that they have to have the really good facilities. They have to have the best coaches. And quite frankly, they got to have their games on TV because, well, I'll go to that school. They're on TV. The other one's not. The whole game is changing. Have you felt it yet?
Yeah, and it's really starting to change for kids trying to get recruited out of high school into college. Rick Pitino in basketball really made it very clear for everyone. Like, I'm going after 25 and 26-year-old kids. I'm not going after 18-year-old kids. So if you want to play at a high, there are a lot of opportunities at all levels for most kids to play in college. There's NAIA and Division III and all that kind of stuff. But if you're hoping to maybe play at a higher level, you got to have a lot of game and you got to have a lot of exposure too, like you're talking about, and that's the way to get exposure. Yeah. And that Michigan City team. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're way more interesting.
The game that really caught my eye last weekend was that Michigan City game because they're always a wild card. Every once in a while, they got 2 or 3 potential D1 players stacked on their roster, and if they put some stuff together, they can throw together a nice team over there. And it looks like this might be another one of those years for them. You're always going to see Maryville, Crown Point. Hobart has regained some of their mojo from the 90s.
Hobart looked really good in beating Chesterton. And first of all, I need to apologize to Plumbers 210. We did not get the spot in on the Hobart game, and I know a number of plumbers were like, hey, dude, your spot was on every other game, but we just, we work with the students, and we have to have the spot in at a certain time. But anyways, Hobart and Chesterton was the biggest defensive battle in the second half. I'm like, wow, it's kind of boring, really, but nobody scored after halftime, and that's because both schools have really good defenses, and they're going to need that when they start playing the Maryvilles and they start playing the Andreans, even Hanover. Anyways, I got to move. Thank you. We could do this all day.
Yeah, good to talk to you, man.
All right, thank you. 219-845-1100. You're listening to AM 1230 WJOB and 104.7 FM. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, you know what you get when you take the T out of Morton?
By the way, I did not say that, and you said that.
You know who told
Morton
me that? You know who told me that joke?
Frank Mervan.
Now, Artie Rogers, 88 Morton grad.
Hey,
the second question is this after you ask of Morton grad. When you ask them to take the T out of it, what does it spell? You ask them, how long does it take before they come up with the answer?
Took me a little while, so it took Adrianna had to put it together too. So I don't know what kind of test that is. Hey, I will say this, and I don't want to be remiss. Hammond Morton looked really good in beating a tough Portage team handily. And you could have watched all those games on JED TV Sports Network. And it was just a kind of a surprising night to see Hobart so good and Morton so good. But anyways, what's up, Dave Kuziak?
So I've been doing work in Hobart the last couple of weeks, and I've been driving around, and I can tell you one thing. You could tell how good a football program is by seeing their peewees and all the ones. There was a local school, I forget the name of it, but boy, there was 40 or 50 kids out there. And so if the feeder program is healthy, that means good things for the program. And you know this from experience. Hobart was always one that they had the feeder program. And then, of course, during your years in the 80s, they were the first to use steroids.
Stop, Kuziak. They just lifted weights.
What are you talking about? They were the first. They tell you. You talk to the guys that are my age in the 80s. They were the first to use steroids.
No, they were just good weightlifters. By the way, I will say this.
Sure they were.
Hey, hold on. We had the Morton or the Chesterton Hobart game on, and the color announcer on that Hobart games is none other than the mayor of Hobart, and he was really good.
Good. I ran into Tony Rodriguez. I'm trying to recruit him for you, and then I also ran into Artie. We were at his pool, and he said call Kevin Enright. So there's two guys that I know you guys are looking for analysts, Tony Rodriguez and Kevin Enright, to do some Crown Point games.
Hey, Dave Kuziak is on the air. A lot of people. By the way, that's Josh Huddleston. That is the voice of Hobart football, and he was on there with Sam Michael. And Huddleston was good. I didn't know what to expect, and he's just got this amazing knowledge of football because he played and. He's pretty excited about it. And not only that, he's excited because Hobart's good. But anyways.
A lot of good stuff going on in Hobart right now, man. I've been doing a lot of work out there. A lot of people are putting money into their homes, and that downtown looks beautiful.
Yeah. Hey, Dave Kuziak, how many times am I going to be asked, and Adrianna, when is Dave Kuziak coming back? You're going to have to answer that right now.
Next, not this Friday, next Friday. First of all, I want to promote Rock and Rail Fest. So this is the last weekend of the summer. So I'm actually meeting some friends up there on Sunday, and I think it's all weekend. So go see one of the last fests. It's going to be beautiful weather. No rain this weekend. It's going to be in the 70s. I've been listening to music all summer, enjoying myself. I went to the last 3 Thursdays at Wicker Park, and echoes were just off the charts last Thursday. There was a 12-minute fireworks show. As the show ended, it was just one of the best 12 minutes of music and fireworks that you can see at the hallowed grounds.
Yeah, woke up my grandson, by the way.
I know. I used to do that because, when I lived right there, you hear that. But, hey, it was beautiful. And, by the way, the person that pulled, I took that quarter-zip Purdue pullover that I had, and I left it. And I'm so pissed. It was $75 at Dick's, and it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Goodbye.
So Dave, let's get this straight. All right, hold on. We need to do some calendaring here. Adrianna, Kuziak's not this Friday. I forget who I don't know who's this Friday. And it's me. Now that I think about it. And then Kuziak takes.
No, it's Dabberton this Friday.
Dabberton this Friday. Okay.
It'll take me a month or two to get my crowd back, but that's okay. That's a different issue.
All right, so Kuziak comes back. Can you put a couple other things on my calendar? Mm-hmm. One is, Kuz, they have the car show at Wicker Park tomorrow from 4 to 7, and the DJ for that is Brian Cummings, and you hear some of his music in him DJing here on WJOB. I think he's going to have a live show eventually. So that's 4 to 7. That needs to be.
Yeah, he came in. He came in when I filled in for you, and talked to me and dropped off some stuff. Said that he's very interested in doing some work. I said, "Well, make sure you talk to the boss." So he must have got in touch with you. So he's pretty well known. He does a good job.
Yeah, he's had his DJ stuff. And then if we could put that poker run on my calendar. And then what else do I need on there, Kuziak? I need, Rock and Rail Fest.
This weekend you got to go to Rock and Rail Fest. It's going to be just beautiful weather. Some of the festivals over the last couple weeks, I've been doing some festivals and just enjoying summer. They really got hurt with the 90, 100-degree temperature. In fact, when they had Western Days, they also had, they tried a new thing called, like, pints and performers, Pensy pints and performers. They put a thermometer on the pavement. It was 107 degrees at 6 o'clock on that Saturday. So that really hurt some of the people that, no one wants to go out when it's that hot. So it's just going to be perfect this week and this weekend. So get out to last weekend of the summer. And the music's great at Rock and Rail Fest, as well as any other thing that's going on this weekend. That's where we're going to go. We're going to sit in a pool on Saturday, just really enjoy this is it. This is one of the reasons why I took some time off. We only get so much summer. We only get 12 weekends, and this was the last weekend. So enjoy it. It's been really hot, and we got a lot of things coming up. We got some people coming on, and we'll get back at it, swing at it, talk about some of the stuff that's happened over the summer, talk about some of the stuff that's going on, promote a lot of the good things that are going on in the region, and try to educate people and educate myself as to what's going on, and get back into it. So it's been nice. It's kind of unplugged for a couple months, not only locally but nationally, and you will find that life is really not as bad as everyone makes it out to sound when you unplug from all that toxic crap that people sit and, CNN and all that other stuff and all it. I hope that that's about ready to come to an end, because it really does not exemplify America, if you ask me. I'm out here talking to customers and people every day, and do they have their views? Absolutely we do. But I think that what should be brought up is, did you see the guy that won the first time, Tommy Fleetwood, after 165 turns? He won the golf thing this weekend.
I did see that.
Did you see what the gist of his story was? Why everybody loves him so much? He's like the most well-loved person on the tour. And his message to his kids and everyone is, why don't we just be kind and nice to each other? What is so difficult about that?
Well, he's gone through a lot. If you know his story, he's 34 years old and his wife is 57. And they had a kid together. She was pretty old when they had the kid. And he went through a lot of people really judging him for a while. And now they've kind of laid off, I guess. But anyways.
He had some mommy issues, so he married a 57-year-old. It is what it is. Not the first person. Look at the president of France. His wife's 75. So it's normally it's the other way. Normally it's women that got some daddy issues that are married to someone 20 years older. And so he's being kind. What is so difficult about that? You can believe that the tax rate should be 50 and someone can believe that it's 10. Does that mean that the other person's a jerk-off?
All right, well, with that, we're going to end the phone call. Thanks a lot, Kuz. We'll see you in a week and a half. Dabberton will be this Friday, and Kuz will come back after Labor Day. All right, man, I appreciate all that you do.
I already hung up on him.
Thanks,
sorry.
all right. Hey, I do have to apologize one more time to the Plumbers 210. They were not on the Hobart game, especially to Shayna Jones, whose kid is in 8th grade there and is a football player. We did not get the Plumber spot into that game, and we'll make it up. Don't worry about it. But you were on every other game, and it was an amazing Friday to open up the season. We have a number of games coming up. Can you I'll do it right now. We have a big Saturday coming up, and that's what I want to promo. We're going to be at Andrean. Now, they've moved the game to Saturday. I won't say it has anything to do with us, but we definitely want people to move some of their football games to if you want to play Thursday or Saturday, it makes it easier for us to televise the games. But here's what you got. Tomorrow night, it's going to be Grace Christian at IUN in men's soccer. You'll be able to watch that. Friday night, you will have South Central at Boone Grove, Munster at Griffith, Chittard at Hanover, and then we have 3 more games that are RRSN, so we'll have 6 football games on Friday night. And then we will have 1 game on Saturday night. It'll be Fort Wayne Lures at Andrean. That'll be a 6 o'clock game. They'll go on at about 5:45. But with the game broadcast, but they're going to be out there doing a game day type situation. Thanks a lot to the Carpenters. Central Midwest Carpenters are building a set or a kind of a podium where the guys can sit. And then Joe Cimino, I hope you have trained him well, Adrianna, because he's going to be hosting that game day. And he, of course, played at Andrean and is pro Andrean. And he said, Jed, this is an out-of-town team. Can I be just like pro Andrean and just like a fan?
Sounds like Andrew Garcia.
Yes. And I said, you know what, Cimino, you can be pro Andrean. You don't have to be independent on this, although there will be a lot of people from Fort Wayne that probably won't like that at all, but it is what it is. So if you're going to the Andrean game, they'll be out in the parking lot there at the Central Midwest Carpenters built studio the first time we're doing it, and Joe Cimino will be the host. He's just a guy who's a student here at P&W who was the quarterback there at Andrean, and that'll be 3 to 5. And I don't understand what's going to happen or how they're working it. I'll be watching it just like you will. And then the following week, we're actually going to do it again, as we'll be at Griffith that week. And that will be who's coming into Griffith for that game. It'll be Lowell at Griffith for a kind of a game day thing before the game. So I don't know. I know that other people are seeing that and want that. I don't know how easy that is to pull off or whatever, but that's what's going on. Let's take a short break and let's finish up. We got a hospice in about 15 minutes. Adrianna and I will be right back on the Voice and Face of the Region.